This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, but rocking a beautiful Toronto background because I love Toronto and I will be there next week for Frightmare in the Falls. So looking forward to that. But folks, here we are on October the 19th, 2024, and we are being well, anybody knows me knows I'm a cat lover. I have Skittles here. That was his cue, but he missed his cue again. But
It's a
we're talking
cat.
about, yeah, we're talking about cat stuff here today, folks. We're talking about a film, an upcoming film called Catnip. I like that title. And we have three, maybe four guests here today. We got three right now. We have the director of this film, a fellow I'm just meeting. I got
Yay.
him on Facebook, Nyles Garcia. How do you do, Nile?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Love your shirt.
Appreciate it. Thanks. I'm representing cats today.
Yeah. Do you have a kitty?
I do not, but I'm about to inherit 30 plus.
Listen, Skittles, lucky you did. Skittles didn't wake up and hear you said dude didn't have a cat. And of course, I have a mother-daughter duel on here today. Uh, So I'm looking forward to hearing how well behaved the daughter is in the presence of the mom. I've had them both on before, but this is the first time I've had them on together. We'll start with the mom. She was in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. Her career dates way back, but she's still 39 years old.
It's amazing. It's a miracle.
Yes. Folks, I give you the absolutely awesome Brooke Bundy. How do you do, Brooke?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you. Happy to be here and thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Have you sent Robert England to bed without supper because he's misbehaving in people's sleepy time?
Sleepy dreams.
Yeah.
Actually I haven't, but we did have a drink together.
Does that help?
A nightcap.
I'm sure if Amanda Wiz has a drink, too much to drink, she might go flying all over the room too.
Right, right.
And folks, we have the daughter who's been on the show here a couple of times before, and we absolutely love her. She is the master of the robot dance. She was Violet in Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. And she still hasn't received any appreciation from Pseudo Echo for putting them back on the map. Folks, I give you the lovely Tiffany Helm, or Tiffany Brooke Meyer. How do you do, Tiffany?
Great. Glad to be here, Greg. Thank you for having us all on here.
I was happy to have you all on here. You know, it's interesting because I remember last week I was supposed to have you on and Brooke couldn't make it, and I was glad we were able to reschedule this because one of the reasons I wanted to get you two on here is because last year, speaking of your movie, actually speaking of two of your movies, I had Tom and Bob DeSimone both on here together.
Right on.
Yep. And that was that was something. I had a lot of fun having them because I wanted to get a feel of what they were like as brothers growing up, and of course, their careers, either whether it was with Chatterbox or whether it was with the films they did outside of each other, like Hell Night or Friday the 13th Part 5, you know. So I wanted to get that feel of you and your mom on here together. So
Yeah, that's cool. I actually had heard from uh Tom, like I don't know, it was a year ago or so so he had reached out to me and that was really cool. But yeah, Bob was supposed to be on, we did a watch show with New Beginning, and I guess he's got some family or something like that who were pretty negatively affected by the hurricanes. So he wasn't able to
Oh,
make it. So I was looking forward to reconnecting with him. So, but another time.
Well,
yeah.
Bob is the ambulance driver, so he is needed.
You're right. Exactly. Man, you are quick.
I am quick. I am quick. It was fun having them on here together, and yeah, I feel bad about the hurricane situation because I mean Richard Dreyfuss had to cancel Frightmare in the Falls because he's going to help with the hurricane relief down there. But that's okay. It's not going to keep me from the event. I'll be there next week. But nonetheless, we'll start with you, Niall. I really want to, because eventually we'll get you in the middle of Brooke disciplining her daughter on here, and you'll have to.
I've stopped doing that a long time ago. She's her own woman. She runs by her own rudder and music and just integrity. So I'm out of the correction field.
Well, Niall, I'd like to get a little bit of your background because this is your first time on here, and I'd like to know whether you've always had an interest in filmmaking. Um, what's your story, your background, and what led to Catnip?
I have wanted to make movies since I was 8.
Like
Um,
yesterday.
yeah, that wasn't that long ago. And I didn't know what that meant though. At 8 years old, I thought the actors made the movie. I didn't understand there were people behind the actors, so I thought that Robert Englund and Heather Langenkamp and Johnny Depp made A Nightmare on Elm Street. That was my introduction to horror movies when I was a little boy.
I'd
Um,
hate to think what you thought when you saw Home Alone. You really thought that Macaulay Culkin just, well, I'm going to rent the house. I might as well film it.
I think by the time I saw that, I was more aware. But as an 8 year old, I didn't understand what filmmaking was. But I saw A Nightmare on Elm Street um, a few hundred times over the course of 3 months, and it made me obsessed with movie making. The story is that my brother, his girlfriend rented the movie. He's my older brother. He was probably 16, 17 at the time. Rented the movie and left it behind for 3 months at my house. It was sitting on top of our VCR, and I wasn't allowed to watch it. But it was the 80s, so after I'd get myself to school and get myself home, and I had about 2 hours to kill before my mom got home every day, and I would watch that movie in secret every single day. I would stop at Circle K and get a bag of Doritos and bean dip was my allowance for the week. And then I would go home and I would watch A Nightmare on Elm Street and gorge junk food. And then when my mom got home, I was acting like I was doing my homework or whatever. So nobody knew I was doing this for the time that I was doing it, but it introduced me to movies, and ever since then I've been addicted.
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't Fritz the Cat or Pink Flamingos, or I don't know if you would have been able to concentrate on your homework.
Those movies came later. When I was a teenager, I got the proper exposure to um, John Waters and Russ Meyer and raunchy 80s comedies, which is another love of mine.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I had uh, Cookie Mueller, who was in Pink Flamingos. Uh, she's long gone, but her son was on the show here, and he shared with me that he was actually in the movie. He was one of the babies being sold to the lesbian couples. So he says, this is a little weird, but yeah, I'm in the movie. Didn't have a speaking part. So I thought that was funny. But anyway, but I gotta talk a little bit here before we get on this movie. Brooke and Tiffany. I know I've seen you both dance.
Yeah, I don't think you've seen me dance.
Oh yeah, I've seen you dance. You were it was in a 60s
The
movies. You were
go-go
in one of those
Oh, the
little
go-go
go-go
dancing.
dancing
Yeah,
thing.
It
totally.
was Run for Your Life.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go. But nonetheless, who taught who to dance? Who taught who to dance?
I'm self-taught pretty much and club taught, right? But and yeah, in school and I took tap when I was younger and I was always involved in a dance class. So I even remember ballet in elementary, probably at the lycée or something, or I don't know when it
Yeah.
was, but
Yeah.
yeah, ballet.
Did you teach your mom how to robot dance?
Haven't taught my mom how to robot dance. I remember one time at a art gallery opening, my art gallery art show in Seattle, and we were having a big party, and my mom had come out to visit, and I was trying to get her out on the dance floor, and she was like, "It's
No.
not happening. Like that ship has sailed." So I tried, but
That's
no, the robot we don't call each other and be like, hey, I figured out this really cool move. It looks like I'm like, building something. It looks like I'm holding a gun. It looks like I'm stabbing somebody. We don't do anything like that. No.
Did you ever dance with Melanie Kinnaman?
No, I've never danced with Melanie.
With Melanie
She's a
danced.
great dancer.
Yeah, I've noticed some of her videos.
She's
So
a really good dancer. And speaking of which, we just saw an amazing ballet last night based on the Brothers Grimm from
mhm.
the Alberta Ballet Company, and it was phenomenal. I love watching dancers.
yeah.
And we had these amazing seats right up near the stage, so like you can see like the
Wow.
discipline on their body is amazing. It was with the music and the backdrops and incredible show. But I digress. It's just fresh on my mind because we just did it last night and
I've
we're
The
had
discussing
costumes must have been
dance.
amazing.
It was so cool. I mean, they covered like Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Rumpelstiltskin, Seven Dwarfs, and it's all contemporary
Winnie the
and
Pooh,
really
Blood
dark.
Money.
Like it's like the way the Grimm, because those are not happy stories.
No.
Those are not, and they're like, do not bring your kids to this. This is dark. It was really good. So
There you go. There
Original
you
horror
go.
stories. I thought it
Speaking
was
of
good.
dance, speaking of ballet dancers, I've had Antonia Franceschi on here a couple of times, and she was in Fame. She was the ballet dancer in that was getting an abortion in it.
okay, so the
Yeah,
movie, the series, you
yeah,
said
the
the
movie.
movie. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I confused the two because I mean, I watched both of them and they kind of
I
just
did
blended
too.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she still does ballet.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just an amazing, like watching them in their toe shoes and everything. It's just it's really incredible. I remember I didn't make the modern dance troupe in high school and I was just crushed. So
why
I went
did
to a club and
Natalie
figured it out.
Portman knock you out of it?
Yeah, something like that. So no, I didn't make it. So I went more to a freestyle club kind of thing. So and I got the last laugh because I got an iconic title from a dance I did. So there you go.
Yep.
Another dancer I had on here, and I had her on here on Valentine's Day 2020, was Tony Basil.
Oh
Oh,
wow. And
yeah.
when I hear she just turned like 80 or something, I'm like, oh. I mean, she seemed like she was old when Mickey was out. Like she never ever seemed that young to me. But it was just some meme like that she's like 80 or something, and I was just like, ooh.
Hey, watch it with the 80.
Yeah, I told her she was
But you
39.
didn't do, but you didn't do what she did. You didn't have like a pop song where you're in a cheerleader's outfit in the 80s doing like that. That's why. Nothing wrong with 80 at
Sure.
all. 80's great. It's
That was
I'm just
that was
teasing.
her cheerleader's outfit too.
was it?
Yeah, that was her high school cheerleader outfit. I hated Valentine's Day up until I had her on here. Now Valentine's Day is Tony Basil Day for me.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was great. Anyway, we need to talk catnip. So,
Yeah.
Nile, give us a synopsis of what catnip is about, because I'm seeing some really interesting imagery on Tiffany Helm's Facebook page. Something tells me this is a rom-com romantic drama that you're making. Give us a
Exactly.
synopsis of this.
It's um it's a Christmas horror movie about killer cats.
I was close.
Very close. There's some romance in it, a lot of comedy. No, it's a straight up horror movie. It's Gremlins for grown-ups. It's set at Christmas. It's a bunch of killer cats in an apartment building with people trapped inside. They got to survive the night, work together, and defeat the animals. It's pretty cool, pretty gruesome. We're looking forward to it for sure. Catnipthemovie.com has a lot of great stuff on it, some teasers and our pitch deck and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I just watched Terrifier last night. I hadn't seen it. People keep talking to me about the Terrifier trilogy, this franchise that Damien Leone made for like I think the first one was $35,000 or something, super low budget. I had no interest in this movie. I had no idea how fantastic it was. It was so
Oh.
gruesome and brutal. My wife and I watched it last night because I told her that I had to do this for research. So we like put it on, and both of us were mortified. It was so great. If Catnip can be that terrifying and gruesome, then I think we did a good job.
Well, that's why I said when I first saw The Room, terrifying and gruesome, but for different reasons.
Yeah, that's a scary movie.
I um I just saw Terrifier 3 last week, and it was the first time we get a Terrifier film here in Fredericton. I know the second one was playing in Toronto uh, when that came out, but when I was down there, but I didn't see it there. But I've had David Howard Thornton on here before, and I've had Michael Levy, who was the exterminator, on here before. And I'm working on getting others from it on here. But um, yeah, very graphic. I don't think a lot of these films need to be that graphic, but you know what?
That
I think
one's
I'm a little
over
deep.
the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was extreme. Um, I I have this like I love horror movies. I grew up on slasher movies, like I said, but I love the horror genre. I have a lot of respect for it. Um, I feel like it's the most underappreciated genre in the industry. I feel like it's been struggling for some respect since the beginning, and every time I see something that's a throwback to anything that's 70s, 80s, or 90s horror, I have a huge appreciation for it. Catnip's going to do that for sure. Those are like I draw a lot of inspiration from creature features from those decades. So I want to do a little bit of the birds, a little bit of gremlins, a little bit of critters. Um, and the thing that I liked about Terrifier is that it was 100% practical effects. There was no like
Mm.
computer or anything in that movie. It was so like just the artistry was impressive, super impressive, especially for a low budget. We're building cat puppets and cat animatronics for this. We have a special effects team who's been working already for a few months. So anything that points toward practical effects, I'm a fan of.
Well, it wouldn't be the first cat horror movie out there. I mean, I saw that one with Judi Dench a few years ago and Taylor Swift, and I'm going to tell you, it
Oh.
traumatized me for a long
Yeah,
time.
me too. I still have nightmares about it.
That was horrifying. But please tell me you're not making that.
No, no, no people in cat costumes in my movie.
Um, what kind of cats are you using for it?
Strays. We're rescuing cats and adopting them for the movie. Um, Fox FX Lab is behind it, and Cheryl Holtzman is our cat trainer, and she's been casting our cats, meaning that she's been going to rescues and shelters trying to find the cats that we want specifically for our movie, and
Wow.
then adopting them and training them to be animal actors. She's been doing animal training for 30 years, I think. Um, she,
Amazing.
yeah, she's fantastic. We have a tuxedo cat. A one-eyed tuxedo cat is our villain. His character's name is Cyclops. We cast an actor, an animal actor. His name's One-Eyed Willie. Or her. Wait, yeah, his name's
That just
One-Eyed
sounds wrong.
Willie, named after the Goonies, and he's gonna portray our villain, our main villain. And then we have a gray short hair, a British short hair that we're looking for. Her name is Wisdom in the movie. We have a marmalade tabby cat, Garfield from Hell. His name's Fat Cat in the movie. And then surrounded by 50 others, house cats and strays combined. It's going to be a huge animal cast.
Bill Murray said he was in Garfield from Hell.
And I found the perfect fat cat, unfortunately, and he's for adoption, but he's in Calgary at the Meow Foundation. We saw him last night. I'm like, oh my God, that's Fat Cat. We just like got to get him a passport or something. And
A visa, a green
I
card.
would totally put through that paperwork, but we don't. I mean, he just seemed like chill. I was like, oh God, that's him. That's the guy.
I find it interesting we're on different time zones. Like Brooke, you're in
LA, Pacific.
LA,
Yeah.
and Tiffany, you're in
Alberta, mountain.
Alberta. Nyles, where are you at?
I'm in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, I'm in a place that nobody knows about called New Brunswick, Canada, and it's
I
not even
know New Brunswick. I
Yeah,
know
well,
it.
Zoom doesn't know what it is. I can put East time on Zoom, but I can't put this time.
No, it's like nobody's heard of Atlantic time. It's where I was like, wait, there's another time zone. I'm like, oh yeah, right. There would be another time zone. So you got your own
Yeah,
time
New
realm.
Brunswick does not count.
Oh,
I always said there's 9 provinces. This one don't exist, apparently. Nothing comes here.
I kind of feel like that with bands in Alberta.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Well, you
come to
can always.
Edmonton, not to Calgary
I thought
much.
I thought that planes after 9/11 all landed in New Brunswick, that was like the way station for the planes that were just kind of floating in air and they had to bring them down to the earth. I thought they all went to New Brunswick and that there was a food shortage. A friend of mine was there and she is Jewish, so she had to have kosher food. And somehow, some way, one of the neighbors of the airfield or whatever was also Jewish and preparing a meal, so was able to bring her kosher food. So I have a special place in my heart for New Brunswick. So there you go.
Okay, well, you got it. I'm trying to find it.
Greg's not too. I see his posts all the time about New Brunswick, so
Oh
not the biggest
yeah.
fan. Not
Well, I'm
not
gonna tell
waving the
you.
flag.
Yeah. Well, I hate to trash talk it, but it's like
But
until once I went to Toronto, it was like it's been a struggle to get moved there because of the whole inflation thing,
it's so expensive.
you
Canada's
know.
like crazy
And don't get me
expensive.
and I don't want to get into politics, but I can't stand our current prime minister. That's part of why I can't seem to get moved because he likes to jack everything up. And somebody won't get a job to help me out.
Skittles.
He's gonna come over
So
here.
let me change the subject and let's talk about Niall's shirt, which is very South Beach.
Oh, that's very nice. But yeah,
Yeah, I bought a bunch. When I first moved here, what's funny is I always wanted this wardrobe. I never got permission to buy it because my wife wouldn't let me. I like the way Kramer dressed and Seinfeld. I actually have
You're right.
this is
I
not
saw,
a cup of soup. This is my coffee.
I saw the cup. Like, yeah, you and I can share like Seinfeld stories. I'm sure like I can every episode a million times over. Like I
Favorite show.
reference it all the time.
Seinfeld and Breaking Bad are my two favorite
Oh
shows
yeah.
of time.
for me it was Married with Children and Benny Hill.
Oh, Benny Hill was amazing. I used to watch that late at night. I feel like I didn't have any parental supervision at all because I keep like remembering stuff I would watch and things I would do when I was growing up, and there was nobody there. It was just me and the TV most of the time. But I saw Benny Hill late at night. I saw Saturday Night Live late at night. I
Oh,
remember
go see Saturday Night. Go see that movie.
oh, I'm dying to. Yeah, it looks
It's
great.
excellent. I saw it last weekend. Yes.
I need to see that after Terrifier 3.
Actually, I saw them both the same day.
Oh, you did a double
Yeah.
feature?
Yeah,
Nice.
I did a double feature. But nonetheless, what is the plot for Catnip? Like, why are these cats? Well, I could think of many reasons why they want to attack people, but
Well, originally I didn't want them to have any kind of origin. I like the idea of them just being like that, like the birds. There's no explanation why they're doing it. They're just doing it. I think cats are terrifying little creatures. I think they can be adorable, and then when they don't want to be adorable anymore, they can just rip your throat out. Uh, Maybe that's why I
well,
don't have any.
not Skittles.
Maybe not Skittles until you're not looking. Um,
Actually, Skittles about as harmless as it can get.
that's what they want you to think. They want you to think that they're harmless and cuddly, and they're not. They're little killing machines. No, I'm joking. I love animals, and I do love cats. I don't know what it is. I have a love hate kind of relationship with cats. But for the movie, I didn't want to give them any kind of backstory because I thought that was more terrifying. But then the more that we read it and worked on it, everybody wanted cats to be from outer space, or they were exposed to gamma rays or toxic waste. They were raised in a lab, like all these terrible cliches. And I just kept saying, no, 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 absolutely not. And then we had the idea to set it in San Pedro, California, which is a shipping town, and they have the docks there, which are really creepy. So I thought, what if they just arrived in a crate? Like we don't know where they came from. Somebody sent them here, an unmarked crate full of cats. And then once they dock, now they're in Pedro, and everybody, is like in danger because they're not normal. There's just something wrong with these cats. So that's kind of the setup for Catnip. We don't know where they came from, but we know they're not normal.
So the sequel could be a prequel.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been outlining
Oh,
direct
okay.
sequels and a prequel and an
Right
origin
on.
story for Cyclops. I think there could be a whole franchise about these cats.
Yeah.
But in
So is this
Catnip, they arrive, and then once they're there, you just have to, survive. And there's
so
a
is
lot
this
of.
a short or a feature?
It's a feature.
Oh, perfect,
Yeah, it'll
perfect.
be it's about 145, 150 pages. I'm sorry, that's not right. An hour and 40, hour and 50. So
Okay,
just under 2 hours.
okay, all right. I love the title Catnip.
Yeah.
Because it's got kind of um an innocence to it in a way, because cats are attracted to catnip, but yet it's not going to keep these people safe, apparently.
I like catnip. Sounds like cat bite.
Yeah.
We like the logo is capital cat, lowercase nip, just to remind you that these animals do bite.
A little more than
Often.
a nip, though.
A little
A
more.
little bit more.
And they keep biting until your face is off.
Trust me, I've done unspeakable stuff with Skittles, and he never bites me. Like I've had him underneath the covers with me, cuddling. Like Skittles hates cuddle time. I'm like, Skittles, I worked hard. We gotta have cuddle time. And he'll just make this big as if how long's this gonna take?
We
80
kept
hours. That's how long it's gonna take.
we got a hat for our cat today, and we were that place, the Cat Foundation, Meow Foundation, and they had these little hand knit hats for cats. I'm like, no, not our cat. And John's like, should we get this? I think we should get it. Even if we just get like one picture. I'm like, okay, that's on you. Like, don't talk to me about frivolous spending. So he bought this little pumpkin hat, and we tried our best, man. Our cat was so not having it. She was so mad.
I'm good friends with Lisa Langlois from the movie class of 1984. She's the reason I started doing the conventions in the first place because she invited me to my first one. And I did Chiller, my first one in the States back in April. But I'm going to be seeing her when I go to Toronto. And one year she's because we send each other stuff at Christmas time, and one she always sends something for Skittles, and she sent a Santa hat with beard on it.
Oh.
And I'm like, I can't wait to put this on Skittles. Now, Skittles doesn't bite or scratch, but he gets annoyed.
So he's harboring a grudge.
Oh yeah, he's bottling it all up. He just
It was
waited
fun putting that
that
on
one
him.
moment.
Oh,
One too many Santa hats is gonna push him over the edge.
maybe that could be the cat's motivation. So instead of aliens or exposure to gamma rays or a lab, like someone just put on one too many hats on these cats and
Yeah.
they just pushed them over the edge. Like, it's go time, humans.
You gonna have any hairless cats like Dr. Evil's from Austin
No.
Powers?
I thought about it. I think that would be just too terrifying. That's too far. Those cats are already scary.
They're so weird.
Yeah.
They're really hard to find and super expensive. So I think that's kind of
Yeah. You're not going to find them in a shelter.
No.
And the maintenance of them too. They have skin stuff and they're harder to take care of than the average kitty cat.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Well, no, you don't have any cats. Brooke and Tiffany, do you two have cats?
Yeah, my cat with a pumpkin hat on it.
Oh, that's right. Why did I blank on that?
What, the story didn't rivet you?
My cats have passed, and I'm not going to get any more cats. But I've had cats ever since I was born. I've had a cat, so I'm very fond of kitty cats. I just can't have them right now. But we had Eartha Kitty. She passed, and her husband brother, P. Diddy Kitty. I'm so glad that P. Diddy Kitty is not here to see what is going on with P. Diddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing some stuff about that.
Not cool. Not cool.
Not cool.
But P. Diddy Kitty, I named them both Maury and Sadie cats.
Mm-hmm.
And she was okay with Sadie. He was having a problem with Maury. And he kept climbing to the top of his kitty tree. And P. Diddy was on TV. And he jumped down from his tree and went over to the television. I said, okay, I guess we've just changed your name to P. Diddy Kitty. So, but they lived till they were about 18, right, Tiff? Tiff was with me when Eartha died. And Tiff was absolutely instrumental in me getting through that. I went to another planet. I'd had her for, I don't know, 17 years, I guess. Longer than any relationship I've ever had, except of course with my daughter. But it was really difficult. And P. Diddy had died before her. So, and then we had another cat, Frank, with big blue eyes. So obviously his name would be Frank. And he passed. So I just have one dog, and he's 17 and he's in great shape. So
Yeah,
there you go.
Skittles is a rescue. Every animal we've had, even growing up, were always rescues. But
Yeah.
yeah, my parents had an Australian Shepherd that's passed away, and they loved that dog. My brother and his wife had a couple ferrets, and they have since passed, and my Skittles is still with us. But
And we still haven't seen Skittles. Is he
Wow,
still asleep,
ferrets.
or what's
yeah,
he
I'm
doing
not.
over there? Skittles, come on, make an appearance.
Yeah, I know.
We need some hats. Bring in the hats
Skittles?
for the cat.
Skittles,
Now-
there's people that want to see you.
Here he comes.
Skittles,
Hi,
they want to
Skittles.
see
Do
you.
you have pets?
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Hi, Skittle.
It's just Skittles. Skittles, look, you're a star. Skittles, why didn't you clean the apartment while I was gone? Don't give me that look. What's that? What'd you say?
He doesn't have
Skit
opposing thumbs. It's hard for him to use a vacuum.
Skittles is related to the King of Beast. And he said, if this movie is catnip, he said, what's in it for him?
I think cats would enjoy this movie.
Well, we got, and it's probably, and when this podcast is on, we'll be in the midst of our Kickstarter. So if Skittles wants to get on board, there's some amazing perks there for him. And he can go to what is the website for it, Niall?
Catnipmoviecampaign.com.
Okay.
And one of our perk packages includes some merchandise from Mrs. Copycat. There's cat toys and catnip. Her catnip brand is Killer Catnip, so it's very fitting for our movie. Yeah,
Skittles just said what Skittles says as relative of the King of Beast, he commands Tiffany to do the robot dance.
Not happening.
He,
You would have to
he's
do it
related
with
to the
me.
King of Beast. You can't
He
deny
would have
him.
to do it with me. Can he do it with me? Because I'm actually I'm seated, so it's like it's hard to do it here. Like it's very like I can't get the right body motion when I'm seated, right?
Yeah.
Like that. So let's see him do it.
Skittles, you do it.
But it's you gotta like get the flick of the wrist and the neck thing, and you know, you may not be able to do it. But tell him to go check out our Kickstarter campaign website. All kinds of really cool perks. And yeah, one of those the things about those cat toys that we have Mrs. Copycat supplying for us, they're all like little bloody knives and things like that. They're all kind of like the horror murder paraphernalia stuff, but geared for animals. And of course, they're not like sharp knives, they're little stuffy knives. But there's some great stuff on there. So, and the perks start like you can contribute anywhere from $10 all the way up to whatever the sky's the limit. There's also just, you know, if you don't want to contribute financially, you're not in a position to. I know lots of people need money right now. There's all kinds of stuff happening in the world. People and animals are in dire need. So if you're not in a position to contribute financially, we're just asking that you share our website, like a page. You know, it's every little bit helps because this is going to be, I mean, it's such a great cause behind the film too. And we're donating once we reach our goal, 5% of the monies are going to go back to the rescues. So we have basically our budget. So we're trying to raise money now specifically for the animal welfare to make sure the animals are treated like the royalty that they are, pay for adoption fees and, you know, and all of that. And for our SFX team. So that's kind of my pitch since we're right in the middle of the Kickstarter. It's a great thing to be involved in.
I just find it amazing when I tell my younger brother that Skittles is related to the King of Beast. My younger brother says, "Yeah, right." I can't wait to tell him that the relative of the King of Beast got you to do the robot dance. He really does have power.
He does have power. Well, yeah.
While seated. While seated. No small feet.
No small feet. And the fact that I don't practice it
now, do you have pets? Now, do you have pets?
Not right now. No, we had two dogs. We had a French Bulldog Boston Terrier mix. His name was Dexter, named after the TV show.
Right.
We had a English Bulldog Boston Terrier mix, and his name was LaFleur because he had a Hitler mustache. And
oh my God, that's brilliant.
Nobody ever got the joke, ever. They thought it was he was like a. Well, we had a French Bulldog, but they thought that LaFleur's was a French name, even though it wasn't. So one person asked me, they're like, "Wait, is he the? Why didn't you name the French Bulldog the French name?" And I'm like, "He's not. We didn't name him
because he doesn't look like Adolf Hitler."
Yeah, we named him LaFleur, not LaFleur. But they both passed.
The relative of the King of Beasts is,
Okay.
I don't know if he's pressing his luck, but he wants to know if Brooke will do a go-go dance.
You're pushing it so far, so far. First of all, I don't have a cage here. That's the first problem, and I
Skittles
don't have
said
my
he's got
white
a
go-go
kennel.
boots.
Skittles said he's got a kennel. Skittles, you're a star.
He's like, I'm out of
He
here.
said, "Yeah, I'm out of here. Get me out of here."
You know what he does? Well, he's rubbing against my hand now. Yeah, he's out of here, all right. When I'm asleep, he'll jump up on my bed. He'll walk up on top of me, up until his feet are right just below my neck, and he'll stare me right in the face. And I'm like, Skittles, my awake time and your awake time are two very different things. I have a CPAP machine, and he will rub against the mask.
Niall,
Or
are you taking
squeeze the
notes on
tube.
this?
Huh?
Or does he squeeze the tube or something? Because this is kind of what Niall's been talking about with the
Yeah,
cats.
Right,
Like,
right.
you think he's just talking about waking up. I think, it could be something entirely different.
definitely. Yeah, I
I
would
think it's
sleep with
nefarious.
one eye open
Right.
just in case.
Yeah, yeah. But
And and a panic button wouldn't hurt either.
Mhm.
yeah.
But one thing's for
Panic
sure,
button.
when Catnip comes out, I think people are going to be looking differently at their cat. They're going to be just wondering a little bit if there's some ulterior motives.
Well,
No,
you
yeah.
mentioned special effects. Who you have for makeup artists for this film and production artists?
Our special effects team is Fox FX Lab. They're in Riverside, California, and our special effects designer and artist is Eric Fox. He was a contestant on Face Off on Sci-Fi's special effects makeup show.
Okay.
I love
He's
that show.
fantastic. He and Cheryl are partners, so he's doing the special effects and she's doing all the animal stuff.
So why is it
Wow.
called Fox when you get cats?
His last name's Fox. But they do specialize in cats. That's how we found them. Well, I had worked with him. Well, I knew him because I just finished this short movie called Last Ride in LA, and I was renting some stuff through a company that he was working for in Riverside. So I met him, and I was following him on Instagram, and I didn't know he was a special effects makeup artist when we first met. I just knew he was working in film, and then his stuff online was amazing. But I already had a special effects team for my previous movie, but I knew that I wanted Eric for the next one. So once Catnip started to uh, get some legs, I reached out to him, and once he heard cats, he's like, "This is perfect for us because it's cats and gore, because those are their two favorite things and what they both specialize in." So it was definitely um, meant to be. We relocated the movie from New York to California so I could use him. That's how
Well,
perfect he is
also,
for it.
also, you didn't want to pay for first class tickets for the 40 cats and
Yeah,
put them up at a 4-star hotel. I mean,
that's true.
those are the SAG rules and regulations. So,
That is true. That would definitely have happened if we had to fly 40 cats to New York.
So Niles, how did you connect with Brooke and Tiffany? I'm pretty you connect, but imagine you connected with one and the other come in out of relation, but still,
Mhm.
who did you connect with? How did that work?
I'm friends with Brooke and I have a mutual friend, Lisa Wilcox. Lisa and
I've
I work.
had her on here. Yep.
She's wonderful. We
Yeah.
worked together
yeah.
on my previous movie, Last Ride. Um, so I was talking to Lisa about Catnip, and there's a role in there that she recommended Brooke for. So then I got the script to Brooke, and initially Brooke said no. She said no, thank you. The script is Brooke actually she was wonderful, and I love working with actors who respect the process. A lot of times you have to go through like an agency. There's a lot of red tape, and actors sometimes never even get your script. They've passed and they never even saw it. I've had two instances where somebody read my script and they liked the story and the writing and they wanted to talk to me to tell me that they weren't going to do the movie, but directly to me, which I think is amazing. So Brooke did that, and then I had to convince her to do it, but I think Brooke wanted to do it. That's kind of my initial feeling, is that she loved the story
Yeah, I
and the
did.
script, but was concerned on how we were going to film it, because we're vilifying cats, and she wanted to make sure that we were going to do it in the right way, and that cats were going to be protected, and that we were, even though we're making cats the villains in this movie, that we love cats. So once I let her know how we were going to make the movie and who was behind it, I think she was pretty quick
You know
to come
what?
out.
Uh, and the anaconda was the villain in Anaconda, but I still like snakes, so it don't matter.
Yeah, it's just a movie, like if it's a zombie movie, then it's okay because they're the undead. But whenever there's a creature, you don't like all of a sudden now want to go and fight against real spiders or real snakes or a real bear or real cats. It's just a movie. But we are treating the animals very humanely, respectfully. Cheryl loves cats so much, and I'm really happy that she's the one who's going to be in charge of that. And the fact that we're rescuing cats, I mean, hopefully
Mhm.
people understand that we're trying to we want people to take away from this that go out and adopt a cat, go out
I
and
love that.
and support your animal shelters, and but cats are scary, so watch out. No, I'm joking.
Think so. I've
you know,
had cats all
I'm
my
joking.
life.
that's
I'm a
my
cat
love hate.
whisperer.
I love cats, but then I'm also afraid of them because I know that one day they're just gonna like squeeze that tube and stop your oxygen from coming.
So, Tiffany, you talk about you coming into it. Did you come through into this through your mom?
Yeah, well, my mom, I mean, came to me with the concept, and I think that was one of the hesitations on, saying yes to it, because, where my background is and where I stand on the whole animal thing. Um, and she was kind of concerned. She's like, Tiff is going to be really upset. But when she told me about it, I'm like, oh my God, it sounds amazing.
I know. I was like,
Um,
what?
because it's make believe. You suspend disbelief. Like
It's what I
cats
thought when I saw
cats are not
Cocaine
getting
Bear.
hurt. Yeah, it's well, I mean, we got bears here. Like, I don't need any help getting like a little concerned about bears. Like, we have the real deal here. But they pretty much keep to themselves. They're not really interested in hanging out with people.
Oh, we got
Or
raccoons.
I miss
We,
raccoon.
we have
All,
coyotes.
all
We've got
through all
coyotes
over the.
everywhere in Los Angeles.
Yeah. We won't go down the coyote show. But anyway, so I was so excited for my mom to be back, um, going to be on camera again. And I wanted to support it any way I could. And I have my fan page. I'm not like a influencer or anything, but I've got a pretty substantial little following on my fan page. Um, and so I wanted to promote that, and I have, access to my mom's fan page. And so I wanted to just kind of start a campaign. And would it be appropriate to reach out to the director and writer? Because he wrote it as well as directing it. And she's like, yeah, totally, he's accessible. So I just reached out to Niall and asked about getting involved with it, and just I'm like, I'm willing to promote, like, let me know what you want done. If you want anything, I'm happy to do it. And I was like, and by the way, because always got to self promote, shameless self promotion, here's my reel. You've probably cast everything, but please keep it in mind. My mom says you're an amazing director, I'd love to work with you. Please just keep it in a library somewhere. And then so I'm posting about Catnip and involved, and he asked if I wanted to read for a part. I was like, heck yeah. So, yeah, got the role and was offered an associate producer position too. And I mean, it's something I've never done. Like, I'm not one of those actors who's like, what I really want to do is direct. I have zero interest in it. I'm like, I show up, like, you show me where you want me to go. If you need me to do a line reading with me, I'm good with that. Like, I no interested in like the directing and producing thing. But this this, like, I love this project so much. I really like, my heart is just totally into it. And plus we're new empty nesters, so it's like this perfect project that I can totally sink the proverbial claws into, right? Um, so I've been like, I'm part of this team of amazing producers, and we all have like our special things that we're good at, right? So we balance each other really, really well. There seems to be great communication. Everyone's totally excited about the project. So I'm in it, like totally in it. Uh, I'm really excited about it. And we start shooting in February, so I'll get to go home for a while and see my
Yay.
people and see my mom, and um yeah, so it's good.
Well, your
I'm
mom
so
really
excited
wants.
that these two. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm so excited that Tiffany and Brooke are going to be in a movie together. I think that it's awesome. I think that's become my favorite part about this whole thing. And
Oh,
it wasn't planned. It just kind of happened. Um, and then once I had cast both of them, and I started talking to some of the other producers about these two actresses we already have in Catnip, and then I realized what we had, and I'm like, this is actually like we're making history, kind of. It's phenomenal that they're going to be in a movie together, and this is the first one because they've been
Yeah.
yeah.
working in the industry for so long. So I'm honored that it's going to be in Catnip. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty exciting. Kind of a dream come true. Like a dream
yeah.
come true that I never thought I was dreaming. Like it just wasn't on my radar because it's not the way the business
Right.
works, right? It's like people sometimes ask, like, was I even seen for Nightmare to play her daughter? I'm like, no. And I was like, I was on such I mean, I was on a different trajectory at that point. But you go kind of where your agent tells you to go, right? And we just
Yeah.
never synced up that way. So this is just, it's an incredible opportunity. So
It wasn't even on my bucket list. I
yeah,
mean, that's how far-fetched it was.
yeah,
So it was like, oops. Yeah. So, but the other thing too is I had told Tiff about Last Ride. And right after I saw it, I called her and told her how wonderful it was. That was a short that Niall did that was just really blew me away. I mean, it was so excellent. The photography, the story, the acting, the directing, the atmosphere, everything was really terrific. And I was telling Tip all about it. Um, yeah, that was the thing that was like so amazing and humbling. I might say humbling. I've said it before on these various podcasts about being part of something that I really think that the writing and the directing and cinematography is really at such a high level. It's really thrilling. So I'm really, 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 really excited about the whole thing. So yes, I play Alice. Alice, who's a little tipsy.
always,
Watching, you know, watching,
always.
always, um, and watching a festival of Christmas hits on TV with an antenna. So you know where they're coming from, with her husband, who is loving and dear and thinks that Alice is the most gorgeous thing he's ever seen. And they talk about their nights before when they were young and the fun that they used to have. So it's just a sweet scene until it isn't, and that gets real dark real fast. And it's
But
great.
and
It's
you got
really great.
and some great one-liners from Alice too. Some really hilarious
Yeah,
moments there.
we had a script reading, and Alice and Bert are the married couple in the building, and their scenes are so funny. I didn't realize how funny they were until I heard them out loud.
Yeah, they
They're
are funny.
really, yeah, it's laugh out loud when I was reading this script. I'm like, this is gold.
Yeah, it really is. And also now I handed out a bunch of cards at the last convention, and everybody was so excited, but so disappointed that they have to wait until Halloween 2025. But
It might be a little longer than that. We were talking about releasing Thanksgiving 2025.
oh, okay. Well,
You want to do
that's
it?
not too bad.
Yeah, it'll be before Christmas because it is a Christmas movie. But the only other horror movie being released for Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving 2, is Eli Roth's movie. So we
Mhm.
wanted to release the same time and call it Catsgiving. Go see
Right,
Catnip. Go see Thanksgiving 2.
right.
Um, you know, the two big horror movies coming out that year.
Well, Brooke is used to Robert England having claws, so the cat is another step up, you know?
I mean, it's on
Oh,
both hands.
very good
All
points.
four.
Very good point.
Yeah. So, talk, I don't want you to give any spoilers, but I mean, obviously, you're good. This is going to be a body count movie, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Now, talk about writing this. I don't know how you get into the mind of somebody who has a cat be a serial killer, but how creative are you on cats killing people?
Pretty
It's pretty
creative.
yeah, it's pretty it's creative because I had to really think about how to make each death different, but realistic, because these people they're stuck in a building with the cats and it's Christmas, but they don't have like, weapons or anything. They're just people stuck with cats. So the way they have to fight back is really creative,
Mhm.
and grounded in reality. There is a war veteran who lives in the building, so eventually there's proper weapons, but until then, I don't want to give too much away, but you have to fight with whatever you have on you, and it's you against 50 cats. So even if you have a gun, it's not enough. You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting? You mentioned the birds earlier, and I've had Hitchcock's granddaughter on here. His granddaughter was on the set of that movie, but one of the interesting things about the birds is that, and maybe this was symbolic, but you notice that the lovebirds never acted up.
Hmm.
The lovebirds that Veronica Cartwright had never
No,
acted up.
I
Yeah,
didn't
And I
know that.
think,
don't they get killed by the other birds?
nope.
No, they don't. I haven't seen it in a while. I forgot.
Yep, the lovebirds never acted up in the cage.
Interesting. So love wins.
Yeah, and I noticed that. And I was wondering, is there any cat in this that doesn't act up? Or
Hmm. Yes, the cats are also. Um, I had to write them as characters, so they have, motivation and relationships, some kind of an arc. Especially there's a house cat, and her name is Wisdom, and her owner loves her so much, like she's his pride and joy. And then when all of this happens, she's torn to follow the cats or to stay true to herself. She ends up making friends with a little boy who just moved into the building. His name's Zach. So, she's right on she's like in the middle, she's got goodness in her, but then also she's like giving into her primal instincts and following these other cats through this night of carnage. Um, yeah, there's some surprises in there and some humanity in the well, I guess that's not humanity in the animals, but they have compassion. It's not just like, black or white. There's a lot of um, a lot of gray.
you have any Siamese cats in it?
No, I don't have any Siamese cats. A lot of them are strays. A lot of mixes and cats off the street.
So we're not going to see any cougars or
No, no, they're just regular cats. Yeah, that was
we
another thing
we
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 talked
Well,
about
got
earlier.
we
Tessa's kind
got
of a cougar, right?
Which one?
What?
Yeah,
Tessa's kind of a cougar, eh?
Oh yeah,
Nessa. Yeah,
Nessa.
Nessa's a cougar.
Nessa,
Yeah,
sorry.
there's a character who's an aging star from the silver screen who lives there, um, and is waiting for her big comeback. But she's like mean and I don't know. She's
Great character.
yeah.
Great character.
It's she's like a sad, lonely woman who lives in this building alone. But then, like, she meets somebody, and there's like there's romance and stuff in the movie happening as well. It's kind of cool when all the characters come together because they're all very different, but then they end up needing each other. Um,
They're
So
Well,
all they're all very likable too. I think that that's one
Yeah.
of the most important things. I'm so in so many movies there are characters that you just don't like. And it's difficult to feel anything for them. It's like, whatever. But all of these characters, I really liked all of them, and they all had individual stories and points of view, which is also unusual in writing because usually there's a tendency to sort of like be repetitious with characters.
mhm.
But they're all very different and, like I said, really likable.
we got lots of raccoons out there at the dumpster. You could dress them up in cat costumes.
Or we can make a killer raccoon movie next.
Yeah,
There
right.
you go. Or it could be like the gangs. We have a gang of raccoons versus the gang of the evil feral cats.
Mhm.
Kind of West Side Story.
Exactly.
So how
Nailed it.
long so how long did it take you to write this, Niall?
I wrote it in a few weeks, but I had to. I pitched it too early. I had the idea kind of brewing for a while, and I had written the first, I don't know, 15, 20 pages. And then I never went back to it. I thought that it was going to be too hard. It was like once I was in the building, I'm like, hey, now what am I going to do? Because now I got to develop all these characters. I got to find all these cool kills. The middle part of the second act is always the hardest part. So I was just going to let it percolate for a while. And then I directed Last Ride, and I was approached by a producer who thought Last Ride was a feature, who had a distribution friend. And then when I let him know it was a short, he asked if I could extend it into a feature. And I said, well, not really, but I have this other project that I'm working on. And then I pitched Catnip, and he said, oh, I love that idea. Send me the script. And I never told him that it wasn't written. I just pitched it as if it was done. So I said, okay, let me just, go through it and fix some stuff, and I'll give it to you in 2 weeks. So I sat down and I cranked it out, and it was great because once I started, it was all in there. I had been waiting to write this script, I think, my entire life.
Wow.
It just started just coming out, and then I sent the rough draft to this guy, and he loved it, but the budget was really, really big. And then Rob, our producer, got a hold of it and convinced me that we can make it for on a smaller scale. And then once he was on board, it just kind of took off. So from writing, the end to pre-production was probably a month.
Well, watching the Terrifier was probably a good idea because those were done on totally independent.
Mm.
And like I said, the third one I just saw, and like they got Clint Howard and Tom Savini and people like that appearing in it. You caught on when you've got that kind of attention. So, and I got to see Chris Jericho job to Vicky in it, which was pretty cool.
I read that the first one was 35,000, the second one was around 300,000 budget, and then the third
Wow.
one was 3 million.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's a big jump. But
I
yeah,
don't I
That
don't
is a
think that was
huge.
Kickstarter.
no, it wasn't. And ours, it's a modest budget, but and ambitious, but we can definitely pull it off. The Kickstarter is going to help for sure because the special effects and having live animal actors and practical special effects that was the fundamental thing that was going to make this movie work. So that's what all that money is going to go towards. So it's just secure that to make sure that we don't have to, I don't want to rely on like a safety net of CGI or a safety net of cat POV shots. And I want to see the cats and I want to see the gore. I want people to walk out and have had just an amazing horror movie experience. I don't think people really get that anymore. Maybe Terrifier 3. That's why I'm so excited to see it. Um, but yeah, it's we're gonna go big or go home. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, I've seen a few good horror films this year. I enjoyed Maxine, I enjoyed Cuckoo. Um, I think Mia Goth is crazier than most serial killers. So I'm down with that. But anyway, no, I look forward to seeing this, and I'm glad it was brought to my attention. Tiffany reached out to me, and I appreciate Tiffany you reaching out to me because it's nice that when people reach out and they trust their experience with me and they know that I'm going to treat the project well. So uh, this is great to have you guys all on here today. So we're
Thank you.
missing David though, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, maybe.
he actually, never checked. He did respond. He said he had a power outage at his
Oh,
house. No, I don't know. It says huge power outage.
That's what they all say.
No, and I appreciate you having us on, Greg. I mean, this is like your gift too, because I know you work your butt off. And this is, hopefully it's a win-win because yes, we love to get on and talk about the project. But for you too, you know, you work so much. You need to like do the stuff that not that you're not, I mean, obviously you're good at your job. Um,
You know what I
but
did
this is the
last night?
stuff to really give back to the horror community because I know this is where your heart is too. So,
Yeah. I went to work at 5 o'clock p.m. last night at one
oh,
building. At 10 o'clock, I started my 8 hour overnight
ugh.
at a Bell Alliance Center. And I got done at 6 this morning, and then I had another 2 hour building. Mhm.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you work a lot. So like hopefully, just following this and talking to us and this is where the heart is, right? You need a break from that other kind of work.
Well,
We
Skittles
all do.
said, look, Skittles said, hey, I'll sleep, you work. And I said, Skittles, that's not how teamwork works.
Well, but I'm
Yeah.
sure Skittles appreciates when you're home too, right?
Well, I certainly don't get to sleep and he work. The most active he
Oh,
gets is when I get the treats out. Then he's active. That's his
I
form of
think
exercise.
I think he's working you.
He's working me.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Skittles
yeah.
was left to me when I lost Dad back in 2022 after 8 years of ALS, and
Mm.
they had they moved into my grandparents' old house because there was less stairs, and we sold the old house. So they kept their Australian Shepherd because they were very close to that, but Skittles at the time was an outdoor cat, but we
Oh,
were out in the country. So I'm in the city here now, an apartment, so I don't let Skittles go outside. But
no.
yeah, but Dad had told me that he's going to have Skittles stay with me so that I would have company. But I think
Uh,
in many ways, I think it was also, they could only handle the Australian Shepherd,
mhm.
and they knew that I was more a cat lover. So
Oh, it's a good
yeah,
fit.
yeah. So I said, yeah, I'll take Skittles. I'll take Skittles. I'm going to annoy him, but I'll take Skittles.
I love his name.
Yeah, it's a
That
great
that
name.
was his name when I got him.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Yeah, he was a rescue, and one of my nephew's friends had him, and it was the last one left, and they were looking for a home for him. So uh, my family took him in, and now I've got him. So
Mhm.
yeah, and when I'm in Toronto for a week, my brother will stop in every day and
Yeah.
make sure he's not working, of course. Yeah. So yeah, I love having Skittles around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They we don't realize the impact they have on our schedule. Um, we have to be home at a certain time or within a certain time frame. We get up. I mean, I have a dog, so I have to walk him 3 times a day. I have to get home by at least 7 o'clock to feed him, and up at 7 to feed him. We're up at 4 at certain days and feed him. Get him to the vet, get his teeth cleaned, get him bathed. So he's so much a part of my life. It's amazing how we do make all these accommodations without even realizing it, and how important they are to our daily coming and going.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I take care of Skittles here, and yeah, so I love having him around. So I don't know how old he is. I know I'd say he's about 15, but he's still fairly active. So
Well, I had a cat that lived to be 22. It was Bubbles, Miss Barbara Bubbles. Um,
Yep.
so she was just Bubbles for years and years and years. And one day I said to her, something, we've been sleeping together for I don't know how many decades. I think I need a first name for you. So I named her Barbara Bubbles.
yeah, but how many pets do you have, Tiffany?
Just the two. We have, well, Goose and Chicken, or Juniper and Clementine, as their real names are. So Juniper is the dog, and Clementine's a cat, but the cat's Chicken, Juniper's Goose. So it's Goose and Chicken.
That is really odd.
And we foster,
It's really hard.
That's who they become.
Yeah,
And
you do a great
and the
fostering job.
names just start like, Goosifer McGrumbles, and you just start like coming up with the weird combination of names. So
Mhm.
I don't think any of our cats on the shoot will have that. Maybe, like, yeah, I mean, you could go wild with that One-Eyed Willie name.
No,
I'm not
one-eyed
even.
Willie.
I'll tell you somebody else I had on here. He just passed away last year. Or maybe no, it was this year, early this year. But I had him on here 3 times, was Joe Camp. And Joe Camp was the director of the Benji movies.
Oh,
Uh,
And yeah, he talked about those working with that dog, and but he had a book called The Soul of the Horse because he owned horses, and he worked with horses. So he was also an animal lover.
yeah.
Yeah. And but I also remember a very funny story about that because he said I don't know where he was, but he really, really wanted to get a couple of elephants, but his wife wouldn't let him. And when I had him on the second time, I said, "Your wife will let you get any elephants yet?" No, she didn't.
aw.
Yeah, but I was glad to have him on. I felt bad when he passed, but he signed that book. He sent it to me, but I'll never forget. I think I was the only person that he talked to that actually liked Oh Heavenly Dog with Chevy Chase.
Ah,
It's a great movie.
I enjoyed it. I can see where some people had issues with it, but I not only I like it, but I told him why I liked it, and I went into detail. And I could hear, he didn't say nothing, but I could hear in the way he was breathing that he was like, wow, I have never heard somebody talk about this film like this, because I was talking about the art scene in the movie and the London locations, and I talked about all that stuff, and I think it just made his day to because he said that Chevy Chase notoriously hated the movie. And I said, well, I liked the movie. And I told him why. And I said, you get Benji being a very smart dog, dialing the phone there in the film. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, my cat just gets me to answer it. So, yeah. So I've had a few animal people come on here, and I've I love animals, and I watch a lot of African wildlife videos on here because I find African wildlife very cool to watch. So yeah, but no, it was wonderful having you guys on here. And you guys got any conventions coming up? Niles, do you get to do the conventions?
Not yet. I'm going to. We have a plan once the movie's done. We're going to do conventions for a year and film festivals for a year. Even though we have a release date, we want to be able to promote the movie and travel with some of our animal actors. I think One Eyed Willie's going to come with. If we can do that, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are with bringing animals to conventions, but we'd love to bring at least one of our cats.
Well, Lisa Langwell, like I said, my third year doing the podcast, we got talking about travel, and she asked what was stopping me, and she invited me to assist her at Horrorama in Toronto, and I went to that, and it was my first time on a plane. I mean, I'm 52 years old, so in
Oh,
2017, that was my
wow.
first time on a plane. I really dug it. It was like taking a bus in the sky. When I landed, it was like, I'm not in Kansas anymore, And she taught me about using the subway because we don't have them here. And about streetcars and stuff. And I was just marveling it, and the different culture there. So that was the first one I went to was in 2017. And I've done four horror-ramas. This will be my fourth Frightmare in the fall. I've done one Toronto Comic Con, and I just did Chiller in New Jersey because Lisa, one of my trips to Toronto, she said you should get a passport. So I got a passport, and I did Chiller, and that was pretty cool. Um, Pricey, but I did it,
Hmm.
and I really dig the convention scene, So I look forward to it. It's going to be a good break for me. I need it. And I hope eventually get moved to Toronto. It hasn't happened yet. I've been trying, but something needs to happen because people have to live. And right now, and I know the States have just as much trouble as we're having here dealing with prices of everything. And it's like something's got to give. But
Well, prices are coming down in the United States, so that's really wonderful. They are coming
maybe
down.
maybe that means Tiffany will be able to get Melanie Kinnaman a pink sweater that stays. I don't know if I asked you this before, Brooke, but what's the most unique thing you've ever been asked to sign at a convention?
My head. Someone got my head off of um, whatever that thing is, and brought it to me, and I was so surprised it was so small because it was my head. I mean, it was the mold of my head, and I thought, God, is my head that small? Um, so I signed it and went running into Robert, and much to the chagrin of everybody in line, he has those lines of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I pushed myself ahead of the line, and I said, "Here, please sign this." And he went, "Oh my God!" So the both of us signed it, and I gave it back to its semi-rightful owner.
Did Robert Englund look at you and say he was surprised your head was so small?
No, no, he was busy with his wonderful fans.
Well, and it's like, and just exposure to air. I mean, that's how shrunken heads happen, right? So
Oh,
it's,
okay.
yeah, so it's probably just from being not in a hermetically sealed environment that it probably shrank a little bit. Your head is a fine size, Mom. It's
Thank
Well,
you.
it doesn't explain anything for politicians, though. So sorry, I had to throw that jab in there.
I think we're gonna
Well,
be making a few heads for Catnip. I know that we have the special effects department is gonna be molding about half of our cast to make at least the head part, some full body prosthetics too.
yeah, I
Um,
would think. I can think of a few offhand. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Right.
without giving away who lives and who dies. But yeah, everybody's going to get a prosthetic made just in case.
Right.
Well, Brooke, you had that done in uh one of the Elm Street movies.
Yeah, in
What
three.
what was that? What was that like for you to do that?
Well, I was warned by everybody that when I got into the mold machine, whatever that thing is, it's kind of like a CAT scan. Be careful and just have them keep talking and let them play music. And I had straws in my nose, and I was like, okay, this is not bad. And they were saying, "You okay in there? Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine." And they had music playing and everything. So and then it was done. So it was, but I don't have, I've only had claustrophobia twice, and it wasn't that bad. Once was on a subway going to a rally in Los Angeles, and the subway, of course, is underground, and I live in, I don't want to use the whole word, but it starts with E, um, country. So I started, and my girlfriend who was with me took one look at me, and my face must have been the color of this. And she said, "Breathe, breathe, Brooke, breathe." And she said, "Okay." She said, "Just keep breathing. It's going to be okay." And then the other time I was in an elevator, a glass elevator on one of the top floors of a hotel in San Francisco, and the elevator moved very fast, and it was very full. And I was with someone who was a doctor, and he took one look at me, said, "Breathe, breathe, breathe, breathe." Um, and he held my hand really tight. But those are the only two times I've had claustrophobia. And I think it had more to do with the fact that there were so many people around me as opposed to being encased in a machine. Um, so yeah, I had a little bit of it in Times Square once around Christmas time. It was just, I mean, it was crazy. So I think my claustrophobia has to do with people as opposed to the actual environment. But it's really uncomfortable and it's very real.
Hmm.
Um, but again, I didn't have a problem with it.
I
What
think
about
the
you, Tiffany?
process
Have
is a
you
little
ever done
different.
it?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I didn't like I had my stomach, right? Was the and they did the makeup for the original kill scene. But nothing that would be casting my body or covering me up or anything. I am highly claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Highly. Whether it's people or the space combination. Yeah, I and that it doesn't get that doesn't get better for me.
I was just going to say, you, I don't know whether it was filmed, whether you mentioned it before, I don't know. But do you think we'll ever see the footage of your original death
There
scene
is
or
no
fun?
footage. There is no
Oh,
footage. No footage. I mean, there might be footage of I mean, I've that Polaroid circulates the internet of me after getting that makeup on. Um, but so maybe there's some footage of them putting the makeup on, but there's no, they saw the makeup, the producer and director saw it and was like, it will not get past the ratings board. So, rewrite, rewrite on the fly. Can you all do overtime today? We're like, yeah, sure. So, and I mean, and that's why it was just, obviously it's a pillow and it was very, it just happened to work with the dance and everything, but it was very last minute. And you just gotta be quick on your feet. Hurry up
yeah.
and wait, and then it's like, and then then it's go time, and you gotta move really fast. Like, why isn't she on set now? We called for her, 10 minutes from now. You're like, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of problem solving in filmmaking for sure.
Yeah.
Nothing ever goes the way that you plan it, which is what makes it so organic
It's
and wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially when something flows together because it's like
Mm.
when it works. So people ask me about the Friday the 13th rewrite and with the song and all that. I mean, it really just came together. Um, so it was, didn't see that coming.
Mhm.
So, but you do need people who are very quick thinkers. I mean, I remember talking to a friend of mine who's a producer. Sorry, I didn't bring any water for this. And there's that puzzle about the bag of grain, the fox and the chicken and a boat, and you have to get all three to an island, but you can't have the fox and the chicken left alone on the island because the fox will eat the chicken. You can't have the chicken and the grain alone on the island because the chicken will eat all the grain. It's one of those little setups. and I couldn't figure it out. And it's my friend who's a producer was like immediately got it. Like, and I was like, how did you do that? She's like, that's my job, like figuring those things out like really quickly. So hopefully now I'm a little more, a little bit more of a quick thinker now that I have that producer title, but I'm also not, I'm associate producer. So I got lots of other people if I
Plus,
can't figure the chicken and
plus
the
you're the
grain.
dance choreographer too.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a whole thing. We're gonna have the cats dancing at a
Mhm.
time. Like it'll be no.
A
For the
little line dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little line dancing for the end credits.
Yeah, yeah. See, I'm
Why
just
not?
giving ideas.
See, there those ideas that just come together.
There you
Movie
go.
magic.
There you
Yeah.
go. Is there anything else that you guys want to plug and promote on here?
Do you want to mention the Kickstarter again, Niall?
Yeah, our Kickstarter launches October 22nd. Catnipmoviecampaign.com. Our perks are going to be we have great stuff on there actually. I'm impressed. Our associate producers have been putting everything together. Tiffany's been part of that team. We have for perks we have Catnip Pinata that looks like Cyclops, our main villain cat. We have Catnip Popcorn Bucket. We have Mrs. Copycat original T-shirts, Killer Catnip, Bloody Knife toys. We have a walk-on cameo role. We have our co-producer, co-executive producer credits on there that you can get, which is pretty standard, I guess. Um, oh, we have an amazing cover of oh my gosh, of Love Cats. We don't. I wrote the song Love Cats into the movie, but I guess The Cure is like one of the most expensive rights to get. The Cure, the Beatles, Michael Jackson, they're just some songs you just can't afford unless you're like, Marvel. But I have a friend who is in a band called the infamous String Dusters. His name's Jeremy Garrett, and he did an instrumental violin, a real creepy violin instrumental cover of the Love Cats for us to use in our promotional materials. So we're going to give away that MP3, this original track, as one of our perk items. Super cool song that you won't be able to get anywhere else. So catnipmoviecampaign.com.
And the
Can we get
blueprint for the animatronic, right? Isn't that one of the
Oh yeah, and then we're building full life-size cat animatronics. Well, one that's gonna be full size, and we're gonna have an autographed blueprint from our makeup team that you can also get as a perk. It'll be poster size. You can frame it and put it on your wall.
Wow.
good stuff?
Very good
And the
stuff.
cats will all
Very
be up for adoption too. So
Hmm?
if you want to get Skittles a friend, that's a movie star. I mean,
Yeah,
then you have a cat that's a movie star. Like, pretty
we're
cool.
we're giving part of our once we reach our goal, 5% thereafter will go to back to animal rescue and pet adoption that's in the LA area. There's an organization called Room 8 Cats. That's where we found Willie. Please go to the website and and adopt a cat or other animals. I think they have a bunch of other animals. I was only looking at cats. But yeah, we're gonna give back to that organization. They're fantastic. So
Absolutely,
support our movie and
absolutely.
support pet adoption.
Yep.
Well,
Win-win.
absolutely. Well, feel free to tag me on any of that on my page. I have no issues with that. I let people do that. So feel free to tag me on any of that. I have no problem with that appearing on my homepage. Go right ahead. You get my full permission. So,
Thank you.
um, yeah. No, this was wonderful having you guys on here today and to talk about this and um, to meet you, Niall, for the first time.
Nice to
And
meet you.
yeah, and I'm happy to get uh, Brooke and Tiffany on here together because, it's kind of a nice dynamic to get mother-daughter team on here.
I was telling Tiff the other day, I have friends that are estranged from their kids. And their kids are not kids. They're in their 30s, 40s, 50s. And it just I feel such great fortune. I mean, really, really, really deep fortune that Tiff and I are the way we are together. You know, I treasure her so much. I treasure her wisdom, her wit, her insider information, just the way she handles herself and her ability to really talk about so many things on such a level that is really, um, I feel so bad for my friends that don't have that relationship because it really is special. It's really, really special. Um, and I think we don't really, I don't treat her like my daughter. I treat her like an equal. You know, in other words, if we go to mother daughter, then we go to, I remember when you were 10. I don't want to do that. I just want to be there with her as someone that I admire and are humbled by and
Why
love
not? That would be
deeply.
fun to see on here.
So it's really what I remember when you were 10.
Yeah, you could send her
Talk
to
to
her
No,
me
we
when
don't
I'm
do
room.
that.
10.
You could send her to her
I'm sorry,
room.
what?
And
My mom didn't send me to my room because my room had all my stuff in it. It's like that's
Yeah,
like that's the
the
weirdest
only
thing.
thing she
Like
didn't have
go to
was
your room and it's like you've got all your toys, you've got
you had
like
the TV.
yeah, and the
You had the
TV. I'm like,
television.
okay, see ya.
The only thing you didn't have was a fridge. So
Yeah.
and a microwave. But yeah, so it's I think yeah, when you said that you one day you said that you hated me, and I said, I don't care if you hate me, just respect me. Because I knew that it was one of those fleeting things, and everybody I knew that had a kid said, I hate you. It's like whatever. So that never pierced me. So that was okay. Um, but it was like, yeah, it was to watch you develop into the most incredible woman it's been such a joy for me. And just I'm so astonished that I had anything to do with that. I think it was all by default. It's like I don't cook, so she's a great cook. It takes me years to do things she doesn't immediately. So it's like the whole default. Anyway, so that's enough of that love fest. But I feel so deeply about her and her offspring, my beautiful grandsons. They are really incredible.
you
And
guys
one
And
think
of
her
them
that's
might
husband
be
ain't bad.
fancy.
working.
He's
One of them might be working
part,
on the set. So
yeah,
possibly.
yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
see.
Ziggers.
Yeah, he's a first year film
Yeah,
student, so he might stretch his production assistant legs on this film. I mean, we'll see how it all plays out, but
well, he couldn't he get credit on that too in school
oh yeah,
if he working on film? Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So
But
yeah, yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
yeah,
I am very optimistic and excited about all the ebbs and flows that we're going to be looking at.
You two have to have a dance
yeah.
song.
It's very exciting.
Stop. Just stop. No.
Stop.
No.
I'll tell
It's
you one.
enough.
I'll tell you one thing I remember. On Facebook, Melanie Kinnaman let slip that there was a Friday the 13th, a New Beginning T-shirt that had her image on it, and she said, "Anybody that wears this at a con, I'll give you a big kiss." And I'm like, in the back of my mind,
Oh,
gosh,
oh, bad
mm,
idea, Melanie. So
She
yeah,
how
had
many?
she had one of those kissing booths then, you probably, right? It was all kisses. Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
how many people showed up with that T-shirt?
I would never say something like that.
No, no, bad idea. Although, I have to say something again. The fans at these cons are so amazing. They are the sweetest, kindest, most respectful, just dear. I mean, they're just like, and you look at them, and some of them are scary looking. They've got with the tats and the piercings and the this and the that. But what comes out of their
What
mouth
are
is
you
just this
saying, Mom?
kindness.
What are you saying? Like
No, some of them are
with the
scary looking.
piercings and the tats,
Okay. Yeah,
which
but
I
no, I'm
have
talking about
several of.
yeah, but I'm talking about serious tats. I'm talking about facial tats, neck tats. You don't have any
Yeah.
facial tats. I'm talking about that level of commitment to tattooing, which to me looks like it'd be really painful. But they're just like wonderful, loving people. So it goes back to the old adage of you can't judge a book by its cover. I'm so blown away by the fans.
You
I had
know,
never in all the years had to have bad experience with a fan. Never.
comedian Stephen Wright said he once got a tattoo over his whole body of himself, but taller.
I missed that. I didn't. What he's going to get a
Comed
tattoo on his whole body?
yeah,
But taller.
of
Dollar.
himself, but taller.
Oh. Right. Very good.
Yeah, I'd like to see that process.
Right. Interesting idea.
Yeah. Anyway, um, I think it was awesome having you guys come on here today. And like I said, feel free to tag me in any of this. And yeah, I'd be happy to help you guys promote this.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you very much. This has been
Absolutely.
fun.
Absolutely. Anything else before we close off?
I'm good.
Good.
You guys want to see Skittles one last time before we close off?
Let's sign off with Skittles.
Hey, Skittles.
Skittles is like, no. What's that yawn? What's that yawn? You sleep all the time. You sleep all the time, you lazy kitty.
Hi, Skittles.
Hi, Skittles. There he
Skittles,
is.
Skittles, Skittles. He's a cute cat.
He's my buddy. He's my buddy
Yeah.
kitty. Yeah, he's my buddy.
He's a good cat.
Hey, he's the best. He's the best kitty. He's a good kitty.
Pretty sure by the end of production, I'm going to have at least one cat.
At least.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, my family, we've never had a cat that scratched or bite. We've never had. We used to have orange tabbies. None of them would ever scratch or bite. Like Skittles has always been great. He greets me at the door when I come home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Skittles is my buddy. And I got a playlist on YouTube of Skittles videos too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, he's my buddy. All I have to do is just stick my finger out, he'll rub against it. Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate you all coming on here today and promoting Catnip. And again, one more time, tell people where they can find it and support it.
Catnipthemovie.com, and then the campaign will be at catnipmoviecampaign.com.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nyles. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Keep me posted on this. And Brooke, it's nice to have you back on. And Tiffany, you've
Yes.
been on a couple times before, so I appreciate you thinking of me for this. It was very pleasant to get that message that you guys wanted to come on here. So
Absolutely. Got to get the Canadian faction on this too. So
yeah, absolutely. So with that said, if I guess we got to close off. So I'd like to get a plug for my show by all you guys before I close off. Just state your names, say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise, and that we are celebrating Catnip, promoting Catnip.
Who's first?
you go
I'm
all at
Brooke.
once.
Sure, sing it.
It'll be jumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is it Niall? Do you want to count us out for this?
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Greg Gilbert
Gilbert
on Python's
Python
Paradise.
Paradise.
There you go. That
Greg
was a
Gilbert
perfect
on
mother-daughter.
Python's
No.
It's almost a tongue twister. Greg Gilbert on Python's
Python.
Paradise.
Yeah, it is a tongue twister. Say it 3 times fast.
Is that okay, or do you want solo ones?
You know what?
Or do
That
you
was
wanna-
perfect.
All right.
Do- Greg,
By
do you
the
want to
way,
name?
if you-
Do
if
you
you
want our
guys-
names also?
Sure.
Okay.
One at a time.
Okay, you want to go first?
Tiffany Helm on Python's Paradise.
Brooke Bundy on Python's Paradise.
Nyles Garcia on Python's Paradise with Greg Gilbert.
And by the way, I forgot to mention, you guys obviously haven't seen Dario Argento's Inferno, because if you did, you'd see a cat attacking several cats attacking somebody.
Inferno. I'm gonna
Mhm.
watch that tonight.
He's on it. He's like, that's all you
Yeah,
gotta say.
I
Oh,
love Dario Argento.
Brooke turned me on to um well, no, it was Tiffany who was talking about Mike Flanagan,
Hmm.
who was awesome. But we hadn't ever watched The Fall of the House of Usher, so my
Oh
wife
my
Oh,
and I
God. So,
powered
and
through it in
that
about a
cat,
week. And there's a cat.
the
One of the
cat.
episodes is the black cat, and there's a
Yeah.
cat that's terrorizing this guy in his apartment, and it was so great.
wow.
Yeah, I watched it twice.
I've done the closing Madeline fall of House Fall that for an acting class like that, her closing, her last monologue in the office. I absolutely love it, and that it's one of the few films that I've seen where the characters are all completely loathsome,
Yeah.
but I still like it, because usually those films I'm just like, if I can't like any of the characters, but they're all totally loathsome and it's so good. It's
Mhm.
such a good, like, God. But yeah, the cat, that's a bad kitty.
But
Mhm.
just
But it
don't
wasn't
just
really the cat. It was what's her face, right? It was that woman.
just don't watch The Cat in the Hat.
Oh God. Oh yeah, that's
Don't watch Cats either.
I watched some of Cats because just for the like
Did it
I just
traumatize you? How much therapy did you need?
I was just well, because when it came out, actually when I was working as a kitchen supervisor, and all the crew was like, "Yeah, I want to see it. It looks really good." I'm like, "I want to go see it just because it's like a car wreck, right? A train wreck." And it
Within
was so bizarre, like following that story. I was like, when they're on the like train tracks, and I'm like, so are they this big or are they this big? Like, or are they
Nobody
like an
knows.
adult? No one knows.
That was one of those films I was checking my watch by the 5 minute mark.
I was
Wow.
amazed. I was transfixed by it because it was really like, what are they like? All those names, did they all lose a bet or something? Like to do like to sign on to it, or because that's a lot of money and a lot of top names.
Yeah, I don't think they knew what they were making. I think they thought they were making a different movie.
Maybe
I hope
it's
so.
because I'm just like, and that woman who was the kind of the newbie to it, I felt so bad for her because she gave it her all, and I mean she seemed like she was a great actress, but it's like, oh, and that's your landing? Like that's I'm so sorry.
I have a strict rule. I don't turn a movie off once I've started it. I've just been like that since I was a kid. I will watch it to the end, even if it's garbage. I turned off Cats. It was so bad that I
It's
turned it off.
so
Yeah.
bad.
I
So
turned it
bad.
off and I'm like, I'll come back to it later. And I just never went back to it.
Pearl Harbor was the worst one I've seen. I hated that movie with a passion. It was no Apocalypse Now or Platoon. Not even close.
That was a bad movie. I sat through it once. If it's a good movie, I'll watch it again and again and again. If it's a bad movie, I'll watch it once.
There you go. Well, Skittles' favorite movie is Fritz the Cat. He likes watching that one.
Sure, he does.
I have had Ralph Bakshi on here a couple times talking about that thing. So Skittles also likes cat people as well, you
Now
know.
that's good with Natasha Kinski,
Yeah.
the second one, because there was two. That was the remake.
Mhm. Well, I got it signed by Lynn Lowry, so he was in that. So yeah, Skittles likes that. He won't watch Cujo though.
Mm-mm.
And he thinks
I,
that all and he thinks All Dogs Goes to Heaven was completely fabricated.
So he probably likes that the what's the cat um villain in the uh was it the Austin Powers movies?
Oh
Is it
yeah.
who's the kitty in that? It's a bad kitty.
That was his Mr. Bigglesworth.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All
Um,
right.
I can't. I'm looking for this Inferno.
Look, Dario Argento.
There's so many Inferno movies. Oh, there it is.
No, just look up Dario Argento. He did Suspiria and Deep Red.
Yeah, I did, but his credits on. I'm on IMDb. There's way too many to go through. So I just typed in Inferno. I found it. I haven't seen this. I don't know why, but I'm gonna find it and watch it, and then I'll let you
Yeah,
know.
that's good. That's got cats killing killing it.
Yeah, there aren't that many. But Catnip will be the definitive one. It'll be the one people are
absolutely.
gonna be like, let's watch Cujo and Catnip.
Yeah. Well, and Ben and Willard, right? We got that kind of vibe going too.
Yep. I just saw Jaws with my kids. We're watching Halloween movies, and they put a bunch of movie titles into a hat, and they drew out Jaws, and they both
Mhm.
groaned. They're like, oh, Jaws! And then we watched it, and they loved it. That
Yeah, it's
movie,
such a great movie.
amazing.
They're not going to the beach anymore though, right?
No, they wouldn't get in the water anyway. They're already afraid of sharks. But yeah, I forgot how it's actually really violent and brutal at the end. It gets gory
Yeah. Oh,
even.
yeah.
Well, the opening scene, her death scene is like, I mean, when I saw it when it first came out, I didn't again have the appreciation, but watching it just from an acting point of view, and I know from the behind the scenes stuff how they filmed that. I mean, what she does is pretty amazing. It's pretty chilling first scene.
And
Yeah.
yet it's hilarious that Steven Spielberg used that exact same actress in the opening scene in 1941,
Oh,
where
The same
that was his
actress.
comedy, and
oh,
they had the same woman, and it was making fun of like it was like Doctor Strange Love Meets a Mad 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 World. Spielberg did 1941, had John Belushi and people.
oh yeah.
Well, she's at the beginning of it going for a swim, and all of a sudden, she feels something come up underneath her, and it's a Japanese submarine thing because it's about Pearl Harbor,
Right.
Japanese thing, and the Japanese pull out, open up the hatch there, and they don't realize this poor naked woman's holding onto this thing above them. And I thought it was so hilarious. Spielberg got the same actress to do that to parody his own movie in the opening.
That's class when
Wow.
you can parody your movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So I thought that was cool, and we just lost her not too long ago
Yeah,
too.
she just
So
passed recently.
yeah, so I've never been able to get her on the show. I've never had any way of gotten her, but I've had two or three Jaws cast members come on here though. So yeah,
Right on.
It's a
yeah,
classic.
yeah. Well, anyway, I'd love to keep you on here for 80 hours. But I don't know if you guys want to talk to me for 80 hours. You might want to talk to Skittles for 80 hours. He went back to that same spot, going to sleep. Yeah,
I
that's
have
what
to take out my dog. My
Yeah,
dog's got to go to
I gotta
Gilbert.
sign off too.
What about you, Niles? Are you signing off?
I'm gonna have to. I got this campaign to get ready for. We
Well, you
launched
know what?
Tuesday.
I do want to know why you got to ask your wife about what clothes you
Oh yeah.
wear.
Um, she I don't know why I told her I wanted to get a Hawaiian shirt, and she said absolutely not. And I'm like, okay. I mean, she just doesn't like them. She works in fashion, so I don't think she thinks they're very fashionable. So I never got one. I didn't really like need one. And then when I moved to Miami, it was like the perfect excuse. So I went out. I have
Right.
like 15 of them now.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah,
love
because I
Hawaiian
got
shirts.
after I bought one, why not buy 15? Um, so now it's become like my I don't know, it's my Miami style until I move, and then I'll just donate them. Probably not.
you got to put your foot down, man.
I don't know. I think they're, what I did actually. I don't know if Brooke realized this or not, but in Last Ride, the Akahiro's character, the hero, is
Right.
wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
That was the first one I bought.
Oh,
I bought
cool.
it for his
Oh,
character, and then I bought another one for myself. I was still in LA when I bought it, but I didn't put it on until I moved to Miami because I knew I was moving. Um, but
Yeah, he didn't let the wife see that.
well, if I bought it for a movie, then it's just wardrobe. She didn't know I secretly bought myself a second one. But
There you go.
I think she's accepted it. It's part of it's comfortable and colorful.
There you go.
so
Well,
I have to get going. I've got
Yeah.
another call, and I got to let
I'd
the
love
dog
to
out.
bid you guys all a great
Thank you, Greg,
day.
so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. It was
We'll
wonderful
talk.
having you guys on here. God bless you all. Great luck with the campaign and share with me. And I'm more than happy to share and promote and whatever I can do.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Greg.
Greg.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Greg.
Thanks for having
Uh,
us.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.